This looks like a high-end, professionally produced commercial, the kind you'd expect from a creative agency with a full team behind it. The visuals, the animation, the sound, everything feels polished and premium. You'd probably assume it took a big budget and lots of expensive tools to make this happen. But what if I told you this entire ad was created using AI, and it didn't cost a single cent? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can create a product commercial like this, step by step, 100% for free. Before I show you how to create a professional commercial ad like this, I know what you're probably thinking. Is this bold cartoon guy also made with AI? And the answer is yes. You're looking at my fully AI generated talking 3D avatar. We actually made an entire video showing you exactly how to create one just like this. And yep, that's also 100% free. So if you want to learn how to make your own AI 3D avatar that actually talks, definitely check that out after this video. Now let's get back to the commercial ads. You see, high quality product commercials like the one you're just watching are not just eye candy, they sell. These kinds of ads are everywhere on YouTube, Instagram, TV, and they play a huge role in grabbing attention, building brand trust, and boosting sales. But normally, creating something that polished takes a full production crew, cameras, lighting setups, editors, animators, and of course a big budget. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create that same kind of professional commercial ad step by step using just a few AI tools. We'll pick a random product and build a complete ad around it. And the best part, you can do it all for free. Alright, so let's dive into the actual process. The first thing we need to do is create the images for our commercial, the key scenes that will make up the visual foundation of the ad. We'll create each scene as a stunning, high-quality image, just like you saw in the final commercial. And for that, we're going to use ChatGPT's new image generation feature. So let's start building our first scene, and we're kicking things off with a visual that instantly grabs attention. So here is the exact prompt. A hyper-realistic close-up of two lemon halves colliding in mid-air, captured at the exact moment of impact with a dramatic splash of water bursting outward. Bright yellow lemons with juicy interiors surrounded by flying water droplets and floating green leaves. Use cinematic lighting and a vibrant tilted turquoise gradient background with soft blur and shallow depth of field. Format: landscape 16 by 9. Dynamic composition centered on the lemon collision. Once we run this prompt, ChatGPT will start generating the image, and it might take a little time, so just be patient. Alright, here we go. This looks pretty cool. The splash effect, the lighting, and the detail on those lemon halves make it feel super realistic. Now let's move on to scene 2. This one is all about introducing the product itself, the Lemon Up soda can. So here is the prompt. A hyper-realistic, ultra-modern close-up shot of a bright yellow Lemon Up, uppercase white, soda can falling in slow motion against a cinematic gradient background, vibrant turquoise to deep teal, add water splashes, glowing reflections, floating lemon slices, green leaves swirling around the can, and mist trailing behind. Use dramatic lighting, depth of field blur, and a slightly tilted camera angle for a powerful, high-energy intro. Image format: landscape 16:9. Let's run this prompt and give it a few moments. So, here it is. That looks pretty good. The motion, the lighting, the details on the can, it really gives off that premium, refreshing vibe we were going for. Alright, moving on to scene 3. This one slows things down a bit and gives us a chance to highlight the product in all its crisp, refreshing detail. Here's the prompt for ChatGPT. A hyper-realistic close-up of a bright yellow, lemon up, uppercase white, soda can, with its tab still closed, covered in condensation droplets, and glowing with cinematic reflections. Water sparkles and tiny mist droplets float mid-air around the can as if frozen in time. Use dramatic lighting and shallow depth of field. Background should be a blurred, tilted turquoise gradient with intense freshness and a cool, modern look. Image format landscape 16:9. Let's run the prompt and wait for the results. And here we go. The image looks pretty good. The lighting is spot on. The droplets give it that chilled, just out of the fridge feeling, and the entire shot feels clean, modern, and super professional. And now it's time for the final scene. This one is simple but powerful. We are showcasing the lemon up can standing upright, fully visible, centered perfectly in the frame. Here is the prompt we will use to generate this polished final scene. Create a hyper-realistic, ultra-modern landscape image, 16:9, of a bright yellow soda can with the text Lemon Up in bold, uppercase white letters, placed perfectly centered and upright. The can should be fully visible and sharply lit with soft, directional lighting, revealing its authentic yellow color and surface texture with realistic condensation droplets. The background must feature a cinematic soft gradient transitioning from teal to turquoise with subtle glow and depth of field for atmosphere. The overall look should feel fresh, premium, and perfectly aligned for a smooth, fade-in product reveal. Let's give it a moment to generate. And there it is. This image looks spot on. Beautifully balanced, super realistic, and totally ready for the final moment in the ad. It perfectly wraps up our ad with a sleek, premium finish. Now that we've created all our images, it's time to bring them to life with animation. There are plenty of AI video generators out there, but for this video I'll be using Kling AI, which in my opinion is one of the most impressive tools I've come across recently. It produces incredibly fluid animations, understands motion really well, and gives you that cinematic feel. First things first, if you don't have an account yet, go ahead and sign up. Once you do, you will receive 166 free credits, which may not sound like a lot, but it's enough to create a solid, professional looking commercial ad. Now click on the Create button in the top right corner. Then from the menu on the left, select Video, and you'll be brought to this dashboard right here. As you can see from the screen, we are inside the Image to Video tab. This is where everything happens. On the left hand side, we have all the main controls. At the top, make sure you're under the Image to Video tab, since we are animating a still image, not generating video from scratch. You'll see a section where you can either click, drag, or paste your image to upload it. If you scroll down, you'll find the prompt box. This is optional, but it's where you can describe the creative direction for your animation. Under the prompt area, there are a few drop-downs for settings like motion style, video duration, and number of outputs. Finally, there is a big green Generate button at the bottom. This will send your request off to Kling servers and start creating your animated video. Now, looking over at the right hand side, you can see the preview area. This is where all your generated videos will appear once they are ready. Now that all 4 images have been generated with the help of ChatGPT, it's time for the really fun part, animating them. Let's start with the first scene, the dramatic lemon collision. I'm going to drag and drop the image right here into Kling AI. Then I'll paste the following animation prompts. 2 lemon halves fly toward each other in a slow motion from opposite sides of the screen. As they collide at the center, a dramatic splash of water bursts outward in all directions. Use ultra-realistic lighting, floating green leaves, and vibrant droplets suspended in the air. Background remains a cinematic tilted turquoise gradient with shallow depth of field for visual impact. Once everything looks good, I'll hit the Generate button and wait for the results. So here we go. The video has been generated, and honestly, I like it a lot. It's not exactly what we described in the prompt, but it still captures the moment beautifully. The slow motion, the splash, the energy, it all works. And since I don't want to burn through my credits by regenerating over and over, I'm going to keep this version. But if you're not fully happy with your result, you can always regenerate it as many times as you like. Just keep in mind your credits are limited, so use them wisely. Now let's move on to this second scene, the slow motion soda can animation. I'll upload the second image and enter the following prompts. Animate a hyper-realistic scene where Lemon Up can slowly rotate on its y-axis with a slight tilt, while lemon slices and green leaves float and rotate gently around it. Water splashes move in slow motion with sparkling droplets, and a soft mist trail follows the can. The camera orbits dynamically from a low to high angle with a subtle zoom in. Use dramatic lighting, sharp reflections, and a tilted turquoise blurred background for a fresh, cinematic modern look. Let's give it a moment. Now check the video. So this one turned out really cool. The motion is smooth, the lighting is dramatic, and the reflections on the can look great. Definitely keeping this version too. Now on to scene 3. This one is all about showcasing the product with a more relaxed motion. I'll upload the third image and then use this prompt. Animate this image where the Lemon Up can gently rotates horizontally, followed by a few tiny droplets splashing out. Keep the rest of the scene modern, cinematic, and smooth with dramatic lighting and shallow depth of field. Now click Generate and wait. So there it is. Another success. This one looks clean, polished, and super realistic. The rotation is subtle, and droplets add a nice touch, and the whole vibe just feels premium. Alright, now let's talk about scene 4, the final product reveal. At this stage, I've decided not to generate a separate animation for this one. Instead, I'll take care of that part in the final editing process. It's a clean, static shot and doesn't really need much movement, so we'll handle that part later. Now let's shift focus and download the 3 animated clips we've just created. If you open any of them right now and play, you'll probably notice a watermark sitting in the bottom right corner. Yep, that little clean AI mark is baked into every video by default, which is totally fine for testing, but if we want our final commercial to look clean and professional, we need to remove that. Thankfully, there is an amazing free tool that can help. It's called VMake AI. Let's head over to vmake.ai. This platform offers a simple AI-powered watermark remover. And here is the cool part. If your video is 5 seconds or shorter, you can remove the watermark completely for free. Since all 3 of our clips are exactly 5 seconds long, we are in luck. Once you're on this side, go ahead and upload your first video. No need to press anything after that. It starts processing automatically. When it's done, you'll see 2 download options. Download 5-second preview video and download full video. Now, since our clip is within the free limit, we just need the 5-second preview version. Download the video. I'm going to play it back, and you will see nice, clean visuals without any branding in the corner. Alright, now let's go ahead and repeat the same process for the other 2 animations. Just upload, wait, download. It's really simple and super fast. To keep the video moving, I won't show each upload step by step. You get the idea. And just like that, we now have 3 clean, professional looking animation clips, all created with AI and all 100% free. Alright, it's time for the final and most satisfying part of the process, editing the full commercial ad. I'll be using CapCut as my video editor for this part. It's simple, powerful, and has a ton of built-in assets that make editing super easy. But of course, feel free to use whatever editor you're comfortable with. The process is more or less the same. So let's get started. First, I'm going to import all 4 scenes into the project. As you remember, we created 3 animated clips using Clean AI and 1 high-resolution image for our final product reveal. Let's drag and drop them into the timeline in the correct order. Now here is something important. By default, the visuals generated with ChatGPT or Kling might not be perfectly sized for a 16 by 9 canvas, especially if you're working in 1920 and 1080 pixels resolution. So I'm going to go through each clip and manually adjust the scale and position to make sure everything fits the screen perfectly and looks crisp. It is a simple drag and resize job. Just make sure no key visuals get cropped off and everything stays centered. Now, once all 4 scenes are adjusted, we move on to audio, because even the most beautiful visuals fall flat without sound. CapCut makes this part super easy. On the top navigation bar, I'll click on the Audio tab, and from there, I'll search for specific sound effects to match the mood and action of our ad. For the opening splash scene, I'm going to search for running water, splash, water magic. Let's preview the sound. Now I'll drag and drop the sound effect onto the timeline, placing it right at the start of the first animation. Now quick cleanup. I'm trimming off a short portion from the very beginning, just to tighten the timing and eliminate any delay. Then I'll add a fade-in effect of, let's say, 0.6 seconds to make the sound come in smoothly and professionally. Finally, to make sure it doesn't overpower the visuals or any background music later on, I'll slightly reduce the volume, setting it to around, let's say, minus 8.2 decibels. And just like that, the first sound effect is synced. Now let's move on to the sound effect for the second scene, where the lemon napkin is rotating with all those floating lemon slices and mist. Let's go ahead and search for keywords like sticky, slime, monster, or liquid. Let's preview the sound. I'll drag and drop it onto the timeline, placing it right under the second scene. Only one adjustment here. I'm going to boost the volume to 3.5 decibels just to make it stand out a bit more. Alright, that's it for sound effects. Short, punchy, and effective. Now let's add background music. Something that will carry the energy of the whole ad. This part is important, so listen closely. If you're planning to publish your video publicly, especially as a YouTube upload or a real commercial ad, you need to be mindful of copyright. You should always make sure your background music is licensed for commercial use. CapCut has a large built-in music library, and while it's amazing for editing, I personally cannot guarantee whether every track in there is free for commercial projects. So I recommend double-checking the usage rights before publishing. For this ad, I'm searching for something like pop, future, bass. It's upbeat, modern, and gives that punchy commercial vibe. Once I find a track that fits, I'll drag it onto the timeline and trim the end so it syncs perfectly with the video length. Then I'll add a fade out effect of 1.6 seconds so the music doesn't end abruptly. Instead, it fades out smoothly as the final scene wraps. Alright, we're almost there. Now it's time to take care of the fourth and final scene. First, I want to add a transition from scene 3 to scene 4 to keep the flow seamless. I'll go to the Transitions tab, scroll to the Blur section, and choose Bubble Blur. It gives a modern and subtle feel. I'll drag and drop it between the scenes and slightly increase the duration for a smoother flow. Next, I'm going to apply a zoom out effect to the image so it doesn't feel static or boring. Select the image and then click the little diamond icon next to the scale setting to add a keyframe. At the start, I'll set the scale to 150%. Then move the playhead to the end of the image and drop the scale down to 130%. This gives us a nice, gentle zoom out motion that feels cinematic and intentional. Alright, I think that's it. All scenes are animated or enhanced. The sound design is in place, transitions are smooth, and the music ties everything together beautifully. Now let's hit that export button and render the full video. The commercial looks great. Smooth animations, crisp visuals, immersive sound design, and a premium feel that could easily pass as a high-budget ad. And the best part, it was created entirely with AI using free tools, and no expensive software or equipment. And that's how you create a $5,000 level product commercial 100% free with AI. I didn't just pull that number out of thin air. To estimate the real-world cost of producing a high-quality product commercial like this, I conducted thorough research using ChatGPT by analyzing recent pricing data from both agencies and freelancers across the United States and Europe. I found that the average cost for a 20-30 second commercial ad typically ranges between $5,000 to $15,000, depending on the complexity, production quality, and whether it is animated or live action. Considering the scope and quality of the ad I created in this video, which includes cinematic visuals, animation, sound design, and editing, I chose $5,000 as a conservative and realistic estimate. In a traditional setting, producing this type of ad would easily require that level of investment. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and learned something new. If yes, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and leave a comment below to let me know what you'd love to see next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.